The fluorescent lights hum above a hospital bed. Michael lies motionless, his body consuming most of the reinforced frame beneath him. An oxygen mask covers his face. Each breath is work, each heartbeat a struggle. Dr. Brennan stands at the foot of the bed, chart in hand, his expression unreadable. He's delivered this speech before, but it never gets easier. Your heart is failing, Michael. Not next year, not next month. Right now, as we speak, your heart is failing. Jennifer stands against the wall, arms crossed over her chest, eyes red and swollen. She's cried so much in the past 48 hours that she thought there was nothing left. She was wrong. Sarah, 17 years old, stands in the doorway. She won't come closer. She can't. Her phone is clutched in her hand, a lifeline to anywhere but here. The edema in your legs. Doctor. Brennan continues, his voice steady and cold with truth. The fluid around your heart, the labored breathing, these aren't warnings anymore. This is your body shutting down. Michael's eyes find the ceiling tiles. He's counted them twice already. Anything to avoid the faces staring at him. Anything to avoid the mirror of what he's become. You weigh 617 pounds. At your height and age, your body cannot sustain this. The surgery you need, the surgery that could save your life, I cannot perform it. Not at this weight, you'd die on the table. Jennifer's hand moves to her mouth. She's heard variations of this before, from other doctors, other hospitals, other emergencies, but this time feels different. This time feels final. So here's what happens next, Dr. Brennan says, and his tone shifts, not softer, but more direct. You go home. You follow the diet plan we've discussed. You lose 80 pounds in the next 4 months. You do that and we can talk about surgery. You don't do that. He doesn't finish the sentence. He doesn't need to. Michael's breathing quickens, the oxygen mask fogging with each exhale. His fingers grip the bed rail, knuckles white against skin that hasn't seen sunlight in months. How much time does he have? Jennifer's voice breaks on the last word. If he doesn't lose the weight. How much time? Dr. Brennan looks at her directly. No cushioning, no false hope. 12 to 18 months, maybe less. Sarah's phone slips from her hand, clattering against the linoleum floor. The sound echoes in the silence that follows. Michael closes his eyes. Somewhere in the back of his mind, he's already thinking about what he'll eat when he gets home. The thought arrives unbidden, unwanted, but it arrives all the same. A whisper that's become a roar over the years, drowning out everything else. Even now, even here, even as his daughter stands frozen in the doorway, and his wife breaks apart against the wall and a doctor tells him he's dying. Even now he's thinking about food. Dr. Brennan sets the chart down on the table beside the bed. The choice is yours, Michael. But you need to make it soon, because your body is making its own choice and it's choosing to stop. He walks toward the door, pausing beside Sarah. I'll be back tomorrow morning. We'll discuss the discharge plan and the diet protocol. Then he's gone, and the three of them are alone with the quiet hum of machines and the weight of everything that's been said and everything that hasn't. Jennifer moves first. She crosses to the bed, her hand hovering above Michael's arm before finally making contact. Her touch is gentle, but her voice is steel. You have to do this. You have to. I can't. We can't lose you. Michael opens his eyes. He looks at his wife, then at his daughter still standing in the doorway, and he sees what he's done to them. He sees the exhaustion, the fear, the anger, the love that's been stretched so thin it's nearly transparent. He sees it all, and he wants to promise them everything. He wants to tell them it'll be different this time. He wants to believe it himself. But the whisper in his mind is still there, patient and persistent, reminding him of every failed diet, every broken promise, every moment of weakness that brought him to 617 pounds and a hospital bed and a countdown clock he can't reset. I'll try, he whispers. Jennifer's face crumbles, because they both know what those words mean. They both know the difference between I'll try and I will. Sarah turns and walks away. Her footsteps fade down the corridor. The machines continue their steady rhythm. Michael's heart keeps beating for now, and the clock begins its countdown. 12 to 18 months, maybe less. The apartment is small, too small for what it contains, Michael lies in the hospital bed that was delivered 3 years ago, when the regular bed finally gave out. It dominates the living room, positioned in front of the television that runs constantly. News, cooking shows, old sitcoms, anything to fill the silence between breaths. The morning light filters through curtains that haven't been opened in weeks. Jennifer prefers it this way. Less chance of neighbors seeing in, less chance of judgment from people who don't understand, who couldn't possibly understand. She moves through the room with practiced efficiency, navigating the narrow path between the bed and the wall, between the bed and the bathroom door, between the bed and everything else their life has become. A tray in her hands. Oatmeal, toast, orange juice, pills arranged in a small plastic cup. "Morning," she says softly, setting the tray on the bedside table. Michael's eyes open slowly. The television is already on. He never turns it off completely. Background noise helps him sleep, helps him forget where he is, what he's become. "What time is it?" "Almost 9. Sarah's already at school." He nods, the movement barely perceptible beneath the layers of flesh that have redefined his body's geography. His neck has disappeared into his shoulders. His arms rest on pillows because the bed can't accommodate them otherwise. Jennifer helps him sit up, a process that takes several minutes and leaves them both breathing hard. The specialized bed can raise and lower, but Michael's weight fights against the mechanism, grinding metal against metal with each adjustment. "You need to eat," she says, though the words feel hollow. Everything about food feels complicated now, weaponized by years of doctors' warnings and failed diets, and the reality that the very thing keeping him alive is also killing him. Michael looks at the oatmeal, plain, unsweetened, doctor-approved. His mind immediately catalogues what it isn't. No butter, no brown sugar, no cream, just grey paste in a bowl. "I'm not really hungry." Jennifer's jaw tightens. They've had this conversation 1,000 times, with 1,000 variations. Not hungry for healthy food, always hungry for everything else. "You have to eat something." Dr. Brennan said. I know what he said. The sharpness in his voice surprises them both. Michael closes his eyes, exhales slowly. "I'm sorry, I know." Jennifer sits on the edge of the chair beside the bed, the only furniture left in the living room besides the bed itself. Everything else was sold or given away to make space. The couch where Sarah used to read, the coffee table where they played board games, the bookshelf Jennifer inherited from her mother, all gone, sacrificed to accommodate 617 pounds of husband. "The physical therapist is coming at 11, Jennifer says, consulting her phone, "and we need to go over the meal plan Dr. Brennan gave us, the one for the next 4 months. 80 pounds. Michael's voice is flat. 4 months, 20 pounds a month. It's doable. He said it's doable if you stick to the plan. "And if I don't?" Jennifer stands abruptly, the chair scraping against the floor. Don't do that." "Don't do what?" "Talk like you've already given up, like this is already over." Michael looks at his wife, really looks at her for the first time in days. She's lost weight. Not intentionally, just the slow erosion of stress and exhaustion and carrying the weight of 3 people's lives on her shoulders. Her clothes hang loose. Her face is drawn. At 40 years old, she looks 50. He did this to her. "I'm not giving up," he says quietly. "I'm just being realistic. Realistic is following the plan. Realistic is doing what the doctor says. Realistic is wanting to be alive for your daughter's graduation, her wedding, her life." The mention of Sarah hits differently than the mention of his own death. Michael can conceptualize not existing. Sometimes, in his darkest moments, it even feels like relief. But missing Sarah's life, being absent from her future, that's a different kind of ending. "Where is she this morning?" he asks. "She didn't come say goodbye." Jennifer's expression shifts, anger giving way to something sadder, more resigned. She's angry, Michael. She's 17. She's watching her father die in the living room and there's nothing she can do about it. "I'm not dying. You're 617 pounds. Your heart is failing. You can't walk to the bathroom. You can't shower without help. You can't—" Her voice breaks. She presses her fingers to her eyes, forcing back tears she doesn't have time for. "You're dying. Slowly. And we're all just watching it happen." The room falls silent except for the television, where a morning show host laughs at something off camera. The sound feels obscene. Michael reaches for the oatmeal. His hand shakes, not from emotion, but from the simple act of lifting his arm. He manages a spoonful. It tastes like nothing, like punishment, like every diet he's ever failed. But he eats it. Because Jennifer is watching. Because Sarah is angry. Because Dr. Brennan gave him 12 to 18 months, and the countdown has already begun. He eats the entire bowl, then the toast, then drinks the orange juice. He swallows the pills. Blood pressure, cholesterol, diuretics, antidepressants. A rainbow of chemicals trying to compensate for what his body can no longer do on its own. Good, Jennifer says, and the relief in her voice is palpable. That's good, Michael. That's a start. She takes the tray back to the kitchen, leaving him alone with the television and the too small apartment and the hospital bed that's become his entire world. Michael closes his eyes and tries to imagine being 80 pounds lighter, tries to imagine standing, walking, holding his daughter, being someone other than this. The image won't form. It's been too long. He's been this person, this body, for so many years that he can't remember being anyone else. But he has to try. 12 to 18 months. The clock is ticking. Jennifer sits at the kitchen table, a box of photographs spread before her like evidence at a trial. She does this sometimes, when Michael is sleeping and Sarah is at school. She opens the box and tries to remember when everything changed, tries to pinpoint the exact moment they lost him. The earliest photo shows Michael at 23, lean and smiling, his arm around Jennifer at their college graduation. He was 170 pounds then, maybe less. Athletic build, clear eyes, a future that seemed limitless. "Tell me about when you met," the camera operator says softly. They're filming for the documentary, capturing context, building the narrative of how a young man becomes 617 pounds. Jennifer picks up the photograph, her thumb tracing the edge. He was funny. That's what I remember most. He could make anyone laugh. He was studying engineering, working part-time at a restaurant to pay for school. He was light. Everything felt light with him. She sets down that photo and picks up another. Their wedding day, 5 years later. Michael's heavier here, maybe 200 pounds, but still recognizably himself, still the man she fell in love with. The weight gain started slowly, Jennifer continues. After we got married, he got a job at an engineering firm. Long hours, stressful projects. He'd come home exhausted and we'd order takeout. It was easier than cooking. It became our routine. Another photo. Michael holding newborn Sarah, his face radiating pure joy. He's visibly larger now, 250 pounds, maybe more. His face is rounder, his shirt strains slightly at the buttons. When Sarah was born, things got harder. Michael's mother had passed away the year before. Cancer very sudden. He didn't deal with it well, didn't talk about it. Just worked more, ate more, pulled away from everyone. The camera shifts to focus on a particular photograph. Michael at a birthday party, Sarah maybe 5 years old. He's enormous in this image, easily 400 pounds. His smile looks forced, his eyes distant. He's sitting while everyone else stands. "This was when I first knew something was really wrong," Jennifer says quietly. Sarah's 5th birthday. Michael couldn't play with the other dads and kids. Couldn't chase Sarah around the yard. He just sat in a chair and watched. I saw him watching and I saw the look on his face. Like he was already gone, like he was watching his own life from somewhere far away. She pauses, collecting herself. The camera waits. I asked him to see a doctor. He refused, said he was just tired from work, that he'd lose the weight eventually. But he didn't. He kept gaining. A pound here, 5 pounds there. It doesn't seem like much until you look back and realize it's been 100 pounds in a year. The photographs progress like a time lapse of disappearance. Michael at work events, progressively larger. Michael at Christmas, barely fitting in the frame. Michael at Sarah's elementary school graduation, sweating through his suit despite the air conditioning. He lost his job when Sarah was 9, Jennifer says. The company downsized, and Michael was the easiest to let go. He'd been missing work, calling in sick. His performance was slipping. They were kind about it, gave him severance, but he was devastated. She finds a photo from that period. Michael on the couch, maybe 450 pounds, staring at nothing. No smile, no light behind his eyes. That's when the real spiral started. No job meant no reason to leave the house, no structure. He'd stay up all night eating and watching television, sleep all day. I was working double shifts at the hospital to keep us afloat. Sarah was raising herself, basically, coming home to a father who barely acknowledged her. The camera operator asks a question off-screen. "Did you consider leaving?" Jennifer's hands still on the photographs. It's a long moment before she answers. Every day. Every single day I'd think about packing Sarah's things and just going. My sister offered to take us in, but I kept thinking he'd wake up, that something would click and he'd realize what he was doing to himself, to us. I kept waiting for the man I married to come back. She picks up a more recent photo, Michael at 500 pounds, maybe more, confined to the apartment. Sarah is in the background, 12 or 13, her expression carefully neutral. The distance between father and daughter is palpable, even in a still image. Sarah stopped inviting friends over when she was 11. She was embarrassed. Not of his weight exactly, but of the situation. The smell, the mess, the way our entire life revolved around him. She'd tell her friends her dad worked overseas, traveled a lot. Anything but the truth. Jennifer's voice hardened slightly, and I enabled it, I know I did. I'd bring him food because it was easier than fighting, because when he was eating, he was calm. When he wasn't eating, he was angry, depressed, impossible to be around. So I fed him. I fed the problem because I didn't know how to fix it. The final photograph in the sequence was taken 6 months ago. Michael in the hospital bed, newly installed in the living room. 600 pounds, maybe more. His face is barely visible beneath the weight, features buried in flesh. Sarah isn't in this photo. She refused to be. This is where we are now, Jennifer says. This is what 15 years looks like. 170 pounds to 617. A funny, bright young man to someone who can't get out of bed. A family to whatever we are now. She begins gathering the photographs, placing them back in the box with careful precision. Each image a milestone on the road to catastrophe. People ask me why I stayed, why I didn't force him to get help sooner. And the truth is I don't know. Love, maybe. Guilt. Fear. The hope that tomorrow would be different. But tomorrow was never different. Tomorrow was always just another day of watching him disappear. She closes the box and looks directly at the camera for the first time. Dr. Brennan gave him 12 to 18 months if he doesn't lose weight, but I feel like I lost him years ago. What we're trying to save now is just what's left. The kitchen falls silent. Somewhere in the living room, Michael stirs in his sleep, the bed frame creaking under his weight. Jennifer stands, box in hand, and returns it to the shelf where it lives. Evidence of a life that used to be. The medical office building is designed for accessibility, but not for someone Michael's size. The elevator groans under the weight of the reinforced wheelchair. Jennifer stands beside him, her hand resting on the chair's handle, knuckles white from gripping too hard. It took 3 paramedics and a specialized transport service to get Michael here. The cost was astronomical. Insurance covered none of it. "We're here for Dr. Brennan," Jennifer tells the receptionist, her voice steady despite everything. The waiting room falls silent as they enter. Other patients, people waiting for gallbladder consultations, hernia repairs, routine follow-ups, stare openly. A child tugs on her mother's sleeve, pointing. The mother pulls the child's hand down, whispers something sharp. Michael keeps his eyes on the floor. He's used to the stares. They've been part of his life for years now. The background radiation of existing in public at 617 pounds. Sarah sits in the corner, earbuds in, deliberately disconnected. She came because Jennifer insisted, because Dr. Brennan wanted the whole family present. But she's made it clear through her posture, her expression, her absolute refusal to make eye contact, that she's here, in body only. "Mr. Torres." A nurse appears in the doorway, clipboard in hand. Her face remains professionally neutral as she assesses the logistics of getting Michael down the hallway. "We'll need to use the bariatric examination room, this way." The hallway is wide enough, barely. Michael's wheelchair scrapes against a wall, leaving a mark on the paint. Jennifer mumbles an apology. The nurse pretends not to notice. The examination room is different from standard rooms, larger, with reinforced furniture and a scale built into the floor. A freight scale, really. The kind used for weighing cargo. "I need you to transfer onto the scale platform," the nurse says gently. "Can you stand?" Michael's jaw tightens. "Not really. Not for long. We'll help you. Take your time." It takes 15 minutes and 3 staff members to get Michael onto the scale. His legs shake with the effort of supporting his weight, even for the 30 seconds needed to get a reading. Jennifer holds his arm, steadying him, though she knows if he falls, she can't catch him. No one can. The digital display climbs 500, 600, 650, 750.2 pounds. "Okay, let's get you to the exam table," the nurse says, and the process begins again. By the time Dr. Brennan enters the room, Michael is drenched in sweat, trembling from exertion, his breathing labored. Jennifer has taken a seat beside Sarah, who still hasn't removed her earbuds. "Doctor." Brennan is in his mid-50s, grey at the temples, with the kind of direct gaze that suggests he's seen everything and can't be shocked. He doesn't smile. He doesn't offer false comfort. He sits down, opens Michael's chart, and begins. 617 pounds, age 42. History of obesity, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, sleep apnea, edema in both legs. Your primary care physician referred you because your heart is struggling. Your most recent echocardiogram shows significant strain. Do you understand what that means? Michael nods slightly. My heart's working too hard. Your heart is failing, Michael, not in the future. Right now. At your current weight, your heart cannot sustain you for much longer. You're looking at 1, maybe 2 years before we're talking about end-stage heart failure. Jennifer's breath catches audibly. Sarah finally removes one earbud. You came here for bariatric surgery, Doctor. Brennan continues, his voice matter-of-fact. Gastric bypass, I assume you were thinking. It's a tool that can help people lose significant weight when diet and exercise have failed. But I need to be very clear with you. I cannot operate on you at this weight. You wouldn't survive the anesthesia. Your body would shut down on the table. So what do I do? Michael's voice is hoarse. You lose weight. 80 pounds in the next 4 months. You follow the diet plan I'm going to give you. 1,200 calories a day, high protein, low carbohydrate, no processed foods. You do that consistently and we can talk about surgery. 1,200 calories, Michael repeats. That's sustainable for someone your size. Your body will use stored fat for energy. You'll lose weight steadily if you follow the plan exactly. And if I can't? Dr. Brennan leans back in his chair, studying Michael with an expression that's not unkind, but absolutely uncompromising. Then you die, Michael. Not dramatically, not suddenly. Slowly. Your organs will fail one by one, your heart first, most likely, then your kidneys, your liver. You'll retain more fluid, your breathing will become impossible, and eventually, your body will simply stop. The room is silent except for the hum of fluorescent lights overhead. I've been doing this for 23 years, Dr. Brennan says. I've seen hundreds of patients at your weight or higher. The ones who survive are the ones who decide they want to live more than they want to eat. It's that simple and that brutal. You don't understand, Michael starts, but Dr. Brennan cuts him off. I understand perfectly. Food is your coping mechanism. It's how you deal with stress, depression, anxiety, boredom. It's the only thing that makes you feel better, even temporarily. I understand that giving it up feels impossible. But here's what I need you to understand. It's not impossible. It's just hard. And hard is not the same as impossible. He turns to Jennifer. You're his wife? Yes. You cannot enable him. No bringing food he's not supposed to have. No making excuses. No protecting him from the consequences of his choices. If he's going to survive this, he needs reality, not comfort. Jennifer's face flushes. I'm not. You are. Most spouses do. It comes from love, from wanting to help. But helping him eat himself to death is not love. It's fear. He looks at Sarah next. She meets his gaze, her expression defiant. You're angry at your father? Yes. No hesitation. Good. Stay angry. Anger is honest. Anger means you haven't given up on him yet. Dr. Brennan stands, signaling the end of the consultation. Michael, you have a choice to make. The diet plan will be sent to your email. There will be weekly check-ins by phone initially, since getting you here is complicated. In 3 months, we'll reassess. If you've lost significant weight, we continue. If you haven't, we have a different conversation." "What conversation?" Michael asks. "The one about hospice care and making your remaining time comfortable." He leaves without another word, the door clicking shut behind him with finality. The three of them sit in the silence he's left behind, the truth hanging in the air like smoke, impossible to ignore, impossible to breathe around. Sarah puts her earbuds back in. Jennifer stares at the wall. And Michael realizes, perhaps for the first time with absolute clarity, that this is real. The countdown has begun. 80 pounds in 4 months. Or the conversation changes. Week 1 is brutal. Michael's body revolts against the 1,200-calorie diet like a prisoner denied parole. The headaches start on day 2, sharp, persistent, punishing. His hands shake. His mood swings between rage and despair. He sweats through sheets, his body purging years of excess in a toxic flood. Jennifer prepares every meal according to Dr. Brennan's specifications. Grilled chicken breast, steamed vegetables, measured portions of brown rice. Everything weighed on a digital scale, every calorie counted and recorded in an app on her phone. "I'm starving," Michael says on day 3, staring at 4 ounces of baked tilapia and a cup of green beans. "You're not starving. Your body is adjusting." "It feels like starving." "Then feel it," Jennifer says, and her voice has an edge that's new, borrowed from Dr. Brennan's unflinching honesty. "Feel hungry, feel uncomfortable, feel something other than full." Michael eats the fish. It tastes like nothing. Everything tastes like nothing without butter, without sauce, without the heavy richness that used to coat every meal. But he eats it, because Sarah is watching from the doorway, her expression unreadable. Because Jennifer has stopped apologizing for the small portions. Because somewhere in the back of his mind, beneath the screaming need for more, is a thin, fragile thread of will that hasn't snapped yet. By the end of week 1, Michael has lost 14 pounds. Mostly water weight, Jennifer knows, but weight nonetheless. The scale reads 603. "That's good," Dr. Brennan says during the phone check-in. "Keep going. Don't celebrate. Don't reward yourself with food. This is baseline." This is what happens when you stop actively killing yourself. Week 2 brings clarity. The fog that's lived in Michael's head for years begins to lift. He wakes up earlier, sleeps better at night. The physical therapist comes 3 times a week now, guiding him through exercises he can do from the bed. Arm raises, leg lifts, resistance band work. 5 reps, the therapist says, a young woman named Andrea, who treats Michael's body like a project, not a tragedy. "You can do 5. Michael manages 3 before his arms give out. Andrea nods like he's accomplished something extraordinary. "Next week you'll do 4, then 5, then 10. That's how this works." By the end of week 2, the scale reads 595, 22 pounds gone. Jennifer allows herself a moment of hope. She sees glimpses of her husband in Michael's face, the shape of his jaw emerging from beneath the excess, his eyes clearer, more present. "You're doing it," she tells him one evening after Sarah has gone to bed. "Michael, you're actually doing it." He nods but doesn't smile. Can't smile, because the hunger is constant now, a low howl that never quite fades. And beneath the hunger is something worse, the creeping awareness of how much further he has to go. 58 more pounds in less than 4 months, then surgery, then recovery, then the real work of keeping it off. The mountain is so high he can't see the top. Week 3 is when the old patterns resurface. It starts small. Michael asks Jennifer to add just a little butter to the vegetables, just for taste, just to make it bearable. "No," Jennifer says firmly. "Dr. Brennan said." "I know what he said. But I can't do this if I'm miserable every single meal, just a little. It won't hurt." Jennifer hesitates, and in that hesitation something breaks. She adds a teaspoon of butter to the green beans, maybe less, barely enough to coat them. But Michael tastes it, and the taste is a doorway to everything he's been denying himself. The next day he asks for butter again. And salt, real salt, not the no-sodium substitute that tastes like chemicals. Jennifer gives it to him, Because he's been so good. Because he's lost weight. Because the look in his eyes when he asks breaks something in her chest that she doesn't know how to repair. Just this once, she tells herself. But once becomes twice, becomes every meal. By the end of week 3, the scale reads 592. Only 3 pounds lost. Dr. Brennan's voice on the phone check-in is flat, suspicious. What changed? Nothing, Michael lies. I'm following the plan. Your weight loss has stalled. That doesn't happen unless you're eating more or moving less. Which is it? Silence on the line. Michael, I need you to be honest with me. Are you cheating on the diet? The word cheating lands like an accusation. Michael's face burns with shame. I'm following the plan. Then you need to follow it more strictly. Weigh everything, count everything, no exceptions. After the call ends, Jennifer finds Michael staring at the television, his expression distant. He knows, Michael says quietly. Then we fix it. We go back to the exact plan, no modifications, but the damage is done. The doorway is open. Michael's mind, which had been slowly accepting the new reality, now remembers what's on the other side of restriction. Remembers how good it feels to taste something with flavor, with richness, with comfort. Week 4 arrives. Jennifer tries to course correct, removing the butter, returning to bland precision. But Michael is irritable now, snapping at her, at Sarah, at anyone who reminds him of what he can't have. Late one night, while Jennifer is asleep and Sarah is in her room, Michael picks up his phone. His fingers hover over the food delivery app he deleted weeks ago. He's already thinking about what he'd order, already justifying it, just once, just to take the edge off. Then he'll get back on track. His thumb hovers over the App Store icon. The house is quiet. No one would know. He could eat in the middle of the night, hide the evidence, start fresh tomorrow. What's one meal in the grand scheme of things? He's already lost 25 pounds. He's earned this. The rationalizations come easy, smooth, practiced from years of use. His thumb moves closer to the screen. In her bedroom, Sarah lies awake, staring at the ceiling. She heard her father's phone unlock, heard the distinctive sound of him shifting in bed, reaching for something. She knows what's coming. She's seen this pattern before. The initial success, the slip, the spiral. She's watched her father die slowly her entire life, watched her mother sacrifice everything, and she's tired of hoping. She closes her eyes and waits for the inevitable sound of her father giving up again. In the living room, Michael's thumb touches the screen. The App Store opens. The food delivery app is halfway through reinstalling when Sarah walks into the living room. Michael doesn't hear her at first. He's too focused on the screen, on the promise of relief just minutes away. His finger hovers over the pizza section. Large pepperoni, extra cheese, breadsticks, maybe wings. His mouth waters at the thought. What are you doing? Michael's hand jerks, nearly dropping the phone. Sarah stands in the doorway, her silhouette backlit by the hallway light. She's wearing an old t-shirt and pajama pants, her hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. She looks younger than 17. She looks exhausted. Go back to bed, Sarah. What are you doing? She repeats, her voice harder now. Nothing. I couldn't sleep. You're ordering food. It's not a question. Michael's face burns. He sets the phone down on the bedside table, screen down. I wasn't. I was just looking. Sarah laughs, but there's no humor in it. It's a bitter, broken sound that makes Michael's chest tighten. You were just looking. Right. Like you were just looking last time, and the time before that. And every other time you promised you'd stop. Sarah, go to bed. This doesn't concern you. Doesn't concern me. Her voice rises, cracking. Are you serious? This is all I've thought about for 6 years. Whether you're going to die, whether I'm going to come home from school and find you dead, whether Mom is going to have a breakdown because she's been taking care of a man who won't take care of himself. Lower your voice. You'll wake your mother. Good. Maybe she should hear this. Maybe she should know that you're already giving up again. Michael's hands clench into fists against the sheets. I am not giving up. I'm having one hard night. That's allowed. No. Sarah steps fully into the room now, and Michael can see her face clearly. She's crying, tears streaming down her cheeks, but her expression is pure fury. You don't get to have hard nights. You don't get to feel sorry for yourself. You know what I get? I get to watch my father slowly kill himself while everyone pretends it's not happening. I get to lie to my friends about why they can't come over. I get to listen to kids at school make jokes about fat people and wonder if they're talking about you. Sarah, I'm not finished. Her voice shakes but doesn't break. I'm 17 years old. I should be thinking about college applications and prom and normal teenage things. Instead, I'm thinking about funeral arrangements, about what I'm going to say at your memorial service, about whether I'll even be able to get up and speak because I'm so angry at you. The words hit Michael like physical blows. He tries to speak to defend himself, but nothing comes out. Do you know what it's like, Sarah continues, her voice dropping to something rawer, more vulnerable, to love someone and hate them at the same time? To want them to get better but also just want it to be over, because watching them suffer is worse than losing them? Don't say that. Why not? It's true. Sometimes I wish you'd just die already so we could grieve and move on, instead of living in this horrible limbo where we're mourning someone who's still alive. The bedroom door opens. Jennifer stands there, her hand on the frame, her face pale. Sarah, that's enough. No, Mom, it's not enough. It's never enough. You keep protecting him, keep making excuses, keep enabling him, and he keeps almost dying. When does it stop? When does someone tell him the truth? Jennifer moves into the room, reaching for her daughter. You're upset. Let's talk about this in the morning. Sarah pulls away. I'm not upset. I'm done. I'm done watching this. I'm done pretending it's going to get better. I'm done hoping. She turns back to Michael, and the look on her face is something he's never seen before. Not anger anymore, but resignation. Finality. I don't want to be here anymore, Dad. I don't want to watch you do this. So here's what's going to happen. Either you actually commit to losing the weight and getting the surgery, or I'm leaving. I'm going to stay with Aunt Rachel. I'm going to finish high school somewhere that doesn't smell like medical supplies and sadness. Sarah, you don't mean that, Jennifer says softly. I do mean it. I've already talked to Aunt Rachel. She said I can stay as long as I need to. Sarah looks at her mother now and her expression softens slightly. I love you, Mum, but I can't watch you destroy yourself for someone who won't even try. I am trying, Michael says, his voice barely above a whisper. No, you're not. Trying means following through. Trying means not downloading food delivery apps in the middle of the night. Trying means actually wanting to live more than you want to eat. She picks up his phone from the bedside table, sees the app partially installed on the screen. This isn't trying, Dad. This is giving up with extra steps. She deletes the app, sets the phone back down, and looks at her father with eyes that have seen too much, endured too much. I'm not asking you to do this for me. I know that doesn't work. You have to want it for yourself. But I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to watch anymore. I can't. It's destroying me too. The room falls silent. Michael can hear his own breathing, labored and heavy, can hear Jennifer's quiet crying, can hear Sarah's footsteps as she walks toward the door. Sarah, he calls out, his voice breaking. She stops but doesn't turn around. I'm sorry. I know you are, Dad. You're always sorry. But sorry doesn't change anything. Actions do. She leaves. Her bedroom door closes softly down the hall. Jennifer sits on the edge of the chair, her face in her hands. Her shoulders shake with silent sobs. Michael looks at his phone, at the blank screen that moments ago promised comfort, escape, relief. He thinks about the pizza he almost ordered, about how easy it would have been to fall back into the pattern, about his daughter's face when she said she wished he would just die already, about how he can't even be angry at her for saying it, because part of him wishes the same thing. She means it, Jennifer says quietly, not looking up. If you don't do this, she's leaving. And I don't know if I can blame her. Are you leaving too? Jennifer finally looks at him, her eyes red and swollen. I don't know, Michael. I honestly don't know anymore. I thought love was enough. I thought if I just supported you, cared for you, gave you everything, it would be enough, but it's not. And I'm so tired. She stands, moves toward the door. Tomorrow, we start over. Exact portions, no modifications. We follow Dr. Brennan's plan to the letter. And you decide, really decide, if you want to live or not, because we can't make that choice for you. She leaves him alone with the television and the hospital bed and the weight of everything he's losing. Michael picks up his phone one more time, opens the App Store, finds the food delivery app, and deletes it permanently. It's not much. It's barely anything. But it's a choice. For tonight, it's enough. 3 weeks after Sarah's intervention, Michael wakes up unable to breathe. Not the usual labored breathing he's grown accustomed to, the constant fight for air that defines every moment of his existence. This is different. This is drowning on dry land, his lungs refusing to expand, his chest constricted by an invisible vice. He tries to call out for Jennifer, but no sound comes. His hand fumbles for the call button Andrea installed beside the bed, a panic button connected to Jennifer's phone. He presses it once, twice, 3 times. The bedroom door flies open. Jennifer takes one look at Michael's face, grey, lips tinged blue, eyes wide with terror, and grabs her phone. "I need an ambulance. My husband can't breathe. He's 590 pounds. He needs bariatric transport." She gives the address, her voice steady despite the panic clawing at her throat. Sarah appears in the doorway, sees her father gasping like a fish on land, and freezes. "Call Aunt Rachel," Jennifer tells her. "Tell her you might need to stay there for a few days. I'm not leaving." "Sarah, please, just call her." The ambulance arrives 12 minutes later, 12 minutes of Michael fighting for each breath, of Jennifer holding his hand and telling him to stay calm, to breathe slowly, to hold on. The paramedics assess the situation quickly. Oxygen mask, IV line, heart monitor, showing an irregular rhythm that makes the lead paramedic's expression tighten. "We need to transport now. Call for bariatric backup. We'll need at least 6 people to move him." It takes 8 paramedics, 2 specialized stretchers, and 25 minutes to get Michael out of the apartment and into the reinforced ambulance. Neighbors watch from doorways and windows. Someone films on their phone. Jennifer doesn't have the energy to care. Sarah stands on the sidewalk, arms wrapped around herself, watching her father loaded into the ambulance like cargo, like something too heavy and broken to be human. "I'll meet you at the hospital," Jennifer tells her. "Go to Aunt Rachel's." "Mom, go." The ambulance doors close. Sirens wail. And Sarah is left standing alone on the sidewalk, watching her father disappear down the street, wondering if this is the last time she'll see him alive. The emergency room at Regional Medical Center is equipped for bariatric patients, but Michael is beyond what even they're used to. The CT scan takes 3 attempts, his body too large for the standard machine, requiring a veterinary scanner borrowed from the university hospital. Dr. Brennan arrives within an hour, still in street clothes, summoned by the ER physician who knows this case is beyond standard protocol. He finds Jennifer in the waiting room, her hands clasped so tightly her knuckles have gone white. "What happened?" he asks, sitting beside her. "He woke up and couldn't breathe. He's been doing so well. He's lost 27 pounds. He's been following the diet, doing the exercises. I thought we were past the crisis point." Dr. Brennan's expression is grim. "Jennifer, Michael's body is under constant crisis. Every breath is a crisis. Every heartbeat. 27 pounds is a start, but it's not enough to reverse years of damage." He pauses, choosing his words carefully. The CT scan shows significant fluid accumulation around his heart and lungs. His heart is struggling to pump effectively. The edema in his legs has worsened. His body is failing. "Can you fix it?" "We can drain the fluid, adjust his medications, stabilize him for now. But Jennifer, we need to talk about what happens next." She looks at him, and he sees the question in her eyes before she asks it. Is he going to die? Eventually, yes. The question is when and under what circumstances. Dr. Brennan leans forward, his elbows on his knees. "At his current weight, I still cannot perform surgery. The risk is too high. He needs to lose at least 50 more pounds before I can even consider it. That's minimum 4 more months of strict adherence to the diet." He's trying. He really is trying this time. I believe you, but trying isn't the same as succeeding. Michael's body doesn't care about effort. It only responds to results. He turns to face her directly. "Here's what I need you to understand. Every day Michael stays at this weight, his organs deteriorate further. His heart, his liver, his kidneys, they're all working at maximum capacity just to keep him alive. The next episode like this might be the one he doesn't come back from. Jennifer's breath catches. So what do we do? We have three options. 1. Michael continues the diet program, loses the required weight, and we attempt surgery in 4 to 6 months. 2. We place Michael in a supervised medical weight loss facility, where his food intake is completely controlled. 3. We begin palliative care and focus on making him comfortable for whatever time he has left. The words hang in the air like a death sentence. He won't agree to a facility, Jennifer says quietly. He'll see it as giving up, as admitting he can't do it himself. Then he needs to prove he can do it himself, because right now his track record suggests otherwise. Doctor, Brennan stands, preparing to return to the ER. I'll keep him here for observation, probably 3 to 4 days. We'll drain the fluid, adjust his medication regimen, get him stabilized. But when he goes home, things need to change. No more modifications to the diet, no more small cheats, no more just this once, it's all or nothing now. And if he can't do it? Dr. Brennan's expression softens slightly, the only mercy he allows himself to show. Then you and Sarah need to prepare yourselves for the end. I've seen this pattern hundreds of times. The patient tries, makes progress, slips, tries again. Eventually the body just gives out. The only question is whether Michael can break the pattern before his body breaks completely. He walks away, leaving Jennifer alone with the fluorescent lights and the distant sound of monitors beeping and the weight of impossible choices. Michael regains consciousness 6 hours later. The oxygen mask is gone, replaced by a nasal cannula. The fluid has been drained from around his heart, 3 liters removed, his body lighter but not lighter enough. Jennifer sits beside his bed, her eyes closed, her hand resting near his but not touching. She looks like she's aged a decade in a single day. "Jen," he whispers. Her eyes open, no smile, no relief, just exhaustion. "You almost died," she says simply. "I know. Dr. Brennan says you need to lose 50 more pounds before surgery is even possible. 50 pounds, Michael. That's 4 more months of this." "I can do it." "Can you?" The question isn't cruel, just honest. "Because this morning I thought I was going to watch you die. Sarah thought she was watching you die, and all I could think was, we've been here before. We've had this scare before, and every time you promise it'll be different. But it never is." Michael wants to argue, to defend himself, to promise her that this time is different, but the words die in his throat because he knows she's right. He's made these promises before, he's meant them before, and he's broken them before. "Dr. Brennan gave us 3 options," Jennifer continues, her voice flat, clinical. "Supervised facility, continue at home, or hospice." The last word lands like a gunshot. Hospice, end-of-life care, making you comfortable, accepting that this is how it ends. "I'm not dying." "You're dying right now. You've been dying for years. We've just been too afraid to say it out loud." She finally takes his hand, and her grip is tight, almost painful. "I need you to decide, Michael. Really decide. Do you want to live? Because wanting to live means being willing to suffer. It means being hungry. It means being uncomfortable. It means doing things that feel impossible every single day. And if you can't do that, if you won't do that, then we need to stop pretending and start preparing." Her voice breaks on the last word, but she doesn't cry. She's beyond crying. "I can't keep watching you kill yourself. Sarah can't keep watching. So you decide. Here now in this hospital bed, do you want to live?" Michael looks at his wife's face, at the lines etched deep by years of stress and fear. He thinks about Sarah refusing to visit, about Dr. Brennan's grim prognosis, about waking up unable to breathe. He thinks about dying at 42, leaving nothing behind but debt and trauma, and a daughter who wished he'd died sooner so she could stop hurting. "I want to live," he whispers. "Then prove it," Jennifer says, "not with words, with choices, every day, every meal, every moment you want to give up. Prove it." She releases his hand and stands. "I'm going home to sleep. Sarah's at Rachel's. I'll be back tomorrow." She leaves without looking back, and Michael is alone with the machines and the reality that wanting to live and knowing how to live are 2 very different things. The choice has been made. Now comes the infinitely harder part. Following through. Michael returns home on a Thursday afternoon. The apartment looks different somehow. Smaller, darker, more oppressive. Or perhaps he's seeing it clearly for the first time in years. Jennifer has prepared. The kitchen has been stripped of everything not on Dr. Brennan's approved list. No chips in the pantry, no ice cream in the freezer, no cookies hidden in the back of the cabinet. She's thrown it all away, donated it, removed every temptation she can control. Sarah's staying at Rachel's for now, Jennifer says as the paramedics transfer Michael back to the hospital bed. She said she'll come home when you've proven you're serious. The words sting, but Michael nods. He doesn't have the right to feel hurt, not after everything. Dr. Brennan is sending a nutritionist 3 times a week. Andrea will continue physical therapy daily, and I've taken a leave of absence from work. Michael's head snaps up. You can't. We need the income. We need you alive more than we need my paycheck. I've arranged it with my supervisor. 8 weeks, unpaid. If we can't afford to stay here, we'll figure it out. But I can't work and monitor you 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day. The reality of what she's saying settles over Michael like a weight heavier than the one he already carries. She doesn't trust him. She can't trust him. And she's right not to. Okay, he says quietly. Jennifer sits in the chair beside his bed, a notebook in her lap. Here's how this works. I prepare every meal. I measure every portion. You eat what's given when it's given. No substitutions, no additions, no negotiations. The food delivery apps are blocked on the Wi-Fi. Your phone has parental controls. You can't download new apps without a password. You're treating me like a child. I'm treating you like someone who almost died 4 days ago. Her voice is steady, but there's steel underneath. If you were a diabetic who kept eating sugar, I'd do the same thing. If you were an alcoholic, I'd remove the alcohol. This is no different. She's right. He knows she's right. But the humiliation burns anyway. The nutritionist's name is Karen. She'll be here tomorrow at 9. She's going to assess your relationship with food, work on behavioral modification strategies. Dr. Brennan also wants you to talk to a therapist. I don't need... You wake up in the middle of the night thinking about ordering pizza. You use food to cope with every emotion. You've gained 450 pounds in 15 years. Michael, you need therapy. He wants to argue. Wants to insist he can handle this himself, that he just needs willpower, that therapy is for people with real problems. But the arguments die before reaching his lips because he knows how they sound. He's used them all before. Fine, I'll talk to a therapist. Jennifer makes a note in her notebook. Good. The first session is Monday video call. His name is Dr. Marcus Chen, specializes in addiction and eating disorders. I don't have an eating disorder. Jennifer looks up from her notebook, her expression unreadable. Michael, you're 600 pounds. You almost died because your body can't process food anymore. You use eating to cope with stress, depression, anxiety. You hide food, lie about food, choose food over your family. If that's not a disorder, I don't know what is. The truth of it hits him like a fist to the chest. He spent so many years making excuses, rationalizing, explaining away the weight as metabolism or genetics or circumstance. But sitting here, in this hospital bed, in this apartment that's been reorganized around his addiction, he can't hide from it anymore. He has an eating disorder, he's an addict, the drug is food and it's killing him. Okay, he whispers. Okay. And the first week back home is worse than the hospital. At least in the hospital there were distractions. Nurses checking vitals, doctors making rounds, the constant background noise of medical machinery. Here, there's nothing but silence and hunger, and the endless stretch of hours between meals. Karen, the nutritionist, is in her 50s with kind eyes and a no-nonsense approach. She sits beside Michael's bed, a food journal open on her lap. Tell me about the first time you remember using food for comfort, she says. Michael thinks back, past the recent years, past the weight gain, past his marriage and his daughter's birth, all the way back to childhood. My mother, he says slowly. After my father left, when I was 8, she was working 2 jobs, never home. The neighbor who watched me would give me snacks to keep me quiet. Cookies, chips, whatever. It was the only time I felt cared for. Karen nods, writing. And when did food stop being comfort and start being a problem? I don't know. Gradually. College stress, work stress, my mother dying. Every time something went wrong, I'd eat. It was the one thing that never let me down, never left, never judged. Until it did, Karen says gently, until it became the thing destroying you. Michael's eyes fill with tears. He hasn't cried in years, not at his mother's funeral, not during the worst fights with Jennifer, not even when Sarah said she wished he would die. But now, talking about food as if it's a relationship, a betrayal, something breaks. I don't know how to live without it, he admits. I don't know who I am if I'm not eating. It's the only thing that makes me feel anything. Then we need to find other things, other ways to feel. That's what the next 4 months are about, not just losing weight, but rebuilding your relationship with food, with your body, with yourself. She closes the journal and looks at him directly. This is going to be the hardest thing you've ever done, harder than losing the weight, because you're not just changing what you eat, you're changing who you are. The person who uses food to cope is going to have to die, so the person who wants to live can emerge. And that death is going to hurt. I'm ready, Michael says, but even as the words leave his mouth, he's not sure if they're true. Days blend into each other. Meals arrive on schedule. Breakfast at 8, lunch at noon, dinner at 6. Small portions measured precisely, tasting of nothing but necessity. Andrea pushes him harder in physical therapy. 5 leg lifts become 10, become 15. He starts using the walker for short distances, from the bed to the bathroom, from the bathroom back to bed. 20 steps that leave him gasping and sweating, but 20 steps nonetheless. Dr. Chen, the therapist, asks questions that make Michael uncomfortable. About his childhood, his relationship with his mother, his father's abandonment. About control and powerlessness, and how food became the one thing he could control when everything else was chaos. You're using food as a slow suicide, Dr. Chen says during their 3rd session. It's less violent than a gun, less obvious than pills, but the intention is the same. You're killing yourself because some part of you believes you deserve to die. That's not true, isn't it? You've pushed away everyone who loves you. You've made yourself unemployable, immobile, utterly dependent. You've created a situation where death is the logical outcome. If that's not suicidal behavior, what is it? Michael has no answer. The weight comes off slowly. 5 pounds the first week back, 4 the second, 3 the third. Not fast enough, but consistent. The scale reads 578 by the end of week 3, 39 pounds, lost total. 41 to go before surgery is possible. Jennifer tracks everything in her notebook. Calories consumed, weight lost, exercises completed. She's become a warden, a nurse, a drill sergeant. The wife he married exists somewhere beneath this new person, but he barely recognizes her. One night, 3 weeks after returning from the hospital, Jennifer sits beside his bed in the darkness. I got a call from Sarah today, she says quietly. She asked how you're doing. What did you tell her? That you're following the program, that you've lost weight, that you're trying. Did she say when she's coming home? Jennifer is quiet for a long moment. She said she'll come home when she believes you've actually changed. Not just lost weight, changed. She said she can't watch you die anymore, so she needs to know you've chosen to live. Michael stares at the ceiling, counting tiles in the darkness. What if I can't? What if I lose the weight and still fail? What if I'm too broken to fix? Then you fail, Jennifer says simply. But you fail trying, not giving up. There's a difference. She stands, moves toward the bedroom, then pauses. I love you, Michael. I've always loved you. But love isn't enough to save someone who doesn't want to be saved. So keep choosing. Every meal, every exercise, every moment you want to quit. Keep choosing life. She disappears into the bedroom, leaving Michael alone with his thoughts and his hunger and the impossible weight of choice. 41 more pounds. 90 days. The clock is ticking. But for the first time in years, Michael is moving forward instead of waiting to die. It's not much, but it's something. Week 7. Michael has lost 43 pounds total. The scale reads 574. He's ahead of schedule, ahead of Dr. Brennan's projections. Jennifer allows herself to hope again, dangerous, fragile hope that maybe this time is different. Sarah calls more frequently now, short conversations, testing the waters. She doesn't visit, but the fact that she's calling at all feels like progress. Michael can walk 30 feet with the walker, can shower with minimal assistance, can fit into the reinforced wheelchair without modifications. Small victories that feel monumental when you've been immobile for years. But something is shifting. Michael feels it in the space between meals, in the quiet hours when Jennifer sleeps and the apartment is dark and silent. The hunger has evolved from a roar to something more insidious, a whisper that sounds reasonable, rational, seductive. You've been so good. You've lost so much weight. One meal won't hurt. You've earned it. He tries to ignore it, tries to focus on the progress, the numbers on the scale dropping, the future that's slowly becoming possible. But the whisper persists, growing louder each day. You're starving. Your body needs more. This diet is too restrictive. You need energy. You need to feel normal again, just for one night. Week 8 begins on a Tuesday. Jennifer has a dentist appointment, the first time she's left Michael alone for more than an hour since he came home from the hospital. "I'll only be gone 90 minutes, she says, gathering her purse. "Andrea will be here in 30 minutes for PT. Your lunch is in the fridge already portioned. Do not eat anything else." "I won't." "Michael, I'm serious. We're so close. Don't sabotage this now." "I won't, I promise." She hesitates at the door, doubt flickering across her face. But the dentist appointment has been rescheduled twice already. She can't cancel again. "I'll be back by 1. The door closes. Michael hears her car start, hears it pull out of the parking lot. And suddenly the apartment is very quiet, very empty, and the whisper becomes a shout. He tries to distract himself, turns up the television, focuses on the cooking show playing, ironic torture, watching people prepare food he can't have. But it makes the craving worse. The sizzle of butter in a pan, the golden crust on roasted chicken, the way melted cheese stretches when pulled apart. His phone is on the bedside table. The parental controls are still active, but Jennifer's laptop is in the bedroom. He tells himself he's just going to check email, just going to pass the time until Andrea arrives. The walker is beside the bed. Michael hasn't walked this far without Jennifer's help, but he's stronger now. 43 pounds lighter, he can make it to the bedroom. The journey takes 10 minutes. His legs shake, his breathing labors, but he makes it. The laptop is on Jennifer's nightstand, exactly where she always leaves it. No password. She never thought she'd need one. Why would she? He's never been alone long enough to use it. The food delivery app opens easily. His old account is still active. Saved payment information, saved addresses, saved favorites. A menu of everything he's denied himself for 8 weeks. Pizza, burgers, Chinese food, fried chicken, wings, breadsticks, desserts. His mouth waters. His hands shake as he scrolls through options, adding items to the cart. Just a small order. Just enough to take the edge off. He'll hide the evidence, work extra hard tomorrow, make up for it. The rationalizations come easily, well practiced from years of use. You deserve this, you've suffered enough. One meal won't undo 2 months of progress. You need this. You've earned this. His finger hovers over the Place Order button. Delivery time, 35 minutes. Andrea will be here by then, but he can have the food delivered to the back entrance, retrieve it before she arrives. Jennifer won't be home for another hour. No one will know. He presses the button. Order confirmed. The guilt arrives immediately, sharp and nauseating. But underneath it is something else. Anticipation, relief, the promise of comfort after months of deprivation. Michael closes the laptop and begins the slow journey back to the living room. He's halfway there when he hears a key in the front door. His heart stops. The door opens. Jennifer walks in, her hand on her jaw, clearly in pain. "They had to reschedule again," she says. "Emergency patient. I swear that office is—" She stops, looks at Michael standing in the hallway with the walker halfway between the bedroom and living room, looks at his face, guilty, terrified, caught. "What were you doing?" "Nothing, just walking, practicing. You never practice alone. You always wait for Andrea or me. I wanted to surprise you, show you how much stronger I've gotten." Jennifer's eyes narrow. She walks past him into the bedroom, sees the laptop on the bed, slightly warm, recently used, opens it. The food delivery app is still on the screen. Order confirmation displayed prominently. Large pepperoni pizza, cheese breadsticks, chocolate lava cake. Total, 43.67. Estimated delivery, 28 minutes. The silence that follows is suffocating. Jennifer closes the laptop slowly, carefully, like she's handling something fragile that might shatter. When she turns to face Michael, her expression is blank. No anger, no tears, no emotion at all. Cancel it. Jen, I can explain. Cancel. It. Now. Michael stumbles back to the bedroom, opens the laptop with shaking hands, cancels the order. The confirmation feels like losing something vital, like cutting off his own oxygen supply. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. I had a moment of weakness. It won't happen again. Jennifer walks past him without speaking, returns to the living room. Michael follows, using the walker, moving as fast as his body allows. She's standing by the hospital bed, her back to him, her shoulders rigid. 8 weeks, she says quietly. 8 weeks of me sacrificing everything. My job, my sleep, my entire life dedicated to keeping you alive. And the moment I leave you alone for 30 minutes, you order pizza. It was a mistake. I wasn't going to... Don't lie to me. She turns and her face is carved from stone. You ordered the food. You planned to eat it. You planned to hide it. The only reason you didn't is because I came home early. I'm sorry. I don't want your apology. Her voice rises now, years of suppressed rage finally breaking through. I want you to care. I want you to want to live more than you want to eat. I want you to think about your daughter, your family, your future before you think about food. But you can't, can you? Even now. Even after everything. That's not fair. Fair? Jennifer laughs, a sharp, broken sound. You want to talk about fair? Is it fair that I've spent 3 years as your caretaker instead of your wife? Is it fair that Sarah had to move out of her own home because watching you kill yourself was destroying her? Is it fair that I've given up everything, my career, my friendships, my own health, to save someone who doesn't want to be saved? I do want to be saved. Then act like it. She's shouting now, tears streaming down her face. Stop saying you want to change and actually change. Stop making promises you can't keep. Stop choosing food over us, over yourself, over everything. The front door opens. Andrea walks in with her physical therapy bag, takes one look at the scene, and freezes. I can come back. No, Jennifer says, wiping her eyes. Stay, do his therapy. I need to get out of here before I say something I can't take back. She grabs her purse and keys, moves toward the door. Where are you going? Michael asks, panic creeping into his voice. I don't know. Anywhere but here. She pauses at the door, her hand on the frame. I can't do this anymore, Michael. I can't watch you kill yourself. I can't enable you. I can't sacrifice my entire existence for someone who throws it away the moment I turn my back. Please don't leave. I'm not leaving, not yet. But I need to think about what I'm willing to accept, about whether love is enough when it's only coming from one direction. She walks out, the door closing softly behind her, somehow worse than if she'd slammed it. Andrea sets down her bag, her expression professionally neutral. Ready for physical therapy, Michael stares at the closed door, at the space where his wife just stood, where his marriage might have just ended. No, he whispers. I don't think I am. But Andrea opens her bag anyway, because the work continues whether you're ready or not. Just like life. Just like consequences. Just like the reckoning that arrives when you realize you might have finally pushed away the last people willing to save you from yourself. Jennifer doesn't come home that night. Michael calls her phone 17 times. Each call goes to voicemail. Each voicemail he leaves is a variation of the same desperate apology, the same promises he's made before, the same words that have lost their meaning through repetition. Andrea completes the physical therapy session in silence, then leaves. The apartment feels cavernous in her absence, empty in a way that has nothing to do with space and everything to do with the absence of hope. Michael doesn't sleep. He lies in the hospital bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying the moment he pressed place order on the laptop. One click, one choice. That's all it took to potentially destroy everything. Jennifer returns the next morning. She looks exhausted, her eyes red-rimmed, her clothes rumpled. She's been at her sister Rachel's, Michael learns later. She and Sarah stayed up talking until 3 in the morning, discussing options, alternatives, exit strategies. "We need to talk," Jennifer says, setting her purse on the kitchen counter. Michael's chest tightens. He knows what's coming. He's heard this tone before, in movies, in other people's stories, in the nightmares he's had about this exact moment. Jennifer sits in the chair beside his bed, her hands folded in her lap. She looks at him directly, unflinching. "I spoke to Dr. Brennan this morning, told him what happened, told him you tried to order food the moment I left you alone." Shame floods through Michael, hot and nauseating. "You didn't have to tell him." "Yes, I did. Because I can't do this alone anymore. I can't be your wife, your nurse, your warden, and your therapist. I'm one person, Michael, and I'm drowning." She pulls out her phone, opens her notes app. "Dr. Brennan gave me 3 options. We discussed them before, but now we need to actually choose. Option 1, medical weight loss facility, full-time supervision, controlled environment, intensive therapy. It's in Houston, minimum 3-month commitment." "I'm not going to." "Option 2, she continues, speaking over him. "You remain at home, but we hire round-the-clock care, nurses rotating in 8-hour shifts. I step back from caregiving completely and return to work. You continue therapy, but with professional supervision." "Jennifer, please." "Option 3, palliative care. We accept that you're not capable of making the changes necessary to survive. We focus on making you comfortable. Hospice comes in, manages your pain, and we wait for the inevitable." The word inevitable hangs in the air like an executioner's blade. "There's no option where things continue as they are," Jennifer says, her voice steady despite the tears forming in her eyes. "I can't do that anymore. Sarah can't do that anymore. So you choose, facility, home care, or hospice. Those are the only options left." Michael's mind races, searching for a 4th option, a loophole, a way to promise her he'll be better without changing anything fundamental. But there is no 4th option. He's reached the end of the road where promises and potential diverge from action and accountability. "What do you want me to do?" he asks quietly. "It doesn't matter what I want. This has to be your choice, your commitment. Because if you choose the facility or the home care and you sabotage it again, we're done, I'm done, Sarah's done. We walk away and you face whatever comes next alone." "You'd really leave?" Jennifer's face crumples, but her voice remains firm. "I love you, Michael. I've loved you since we were 22 years old, but love isn't enough anymore. I've given you everything I have, and it still wasn't enough to make you choose life over food. So yes, if you can't do this, really do this, I'll leave. Because staying would mean watching you die, and I can't survive that. Sarah can't survive that." She stands, preparing to leave the room, to give him space to decide. But Michael's voice stops her. "I gained the weight back." Jennifer turns slowly. "What?" "Last week's weigh-in. The one I told you went well. I lied. I gained 3 pounds. I've been sneaking extra portions when you're asleep, eating toothpaste because it's the only thing with flavor, licking the grease off the measuring spoons when you turn your back. I've been cheating every single day for 2 weeks." The confession pours out of him like poison from a wound. Jennifer's face goes pale. "The scale doesn't say 574. It says 577. I've been lying about the numbers, adjusting my position on the scale to make it read lower. I've been sabotaging everything, even when I swore I wasn't." Jennifer sinks back into the chair, her hand over her mouth. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because you deserve the truth. Because I'm tired of lying. Because I need you to know who you're married to. Someone who will lie to your face while you're sacrificing everything to keep him alive. Someone who chooses food over his family every single time, even when he swears he's choosing differently." His voice breaks. "I'm an addict, Jen. Food is my drug, and I don't know if I can stop. I don't know if I'm capable of being the person you need me to be, the person Sarah needs me to be. I've tried so hard, and I keep failing, and I'm terrified that this is just who I am, that I'm broken in a way that can't be fixed." Jennifer stares at him, her expression unreadable. When she finally speaks, her voice is soft, almost gentle. "Thank you for telling me the truth. What do I do?" Michael whispers. "How do I fix this?" You can't fix it alone, that's what you don't understand. You've been trying to do this through willpower and promises, and it's not working because you need more than that. You need professional help, real help, the kind you can only get in a facility where every variable is controlled and every moment is supervised. I don't want to leave. I don't want to be separated from you and Sarah. Sarah isn't here. She hasn't been here for 2 months. And I can't be here anymore, not like this. So the separation has already happened. The facility just makes it official. She pulls a brochure from her purse, glossy pages showcasing a medical weight loss center in Houston. Clean rooms, professional staff, success stories. Dr. Brennan has a bed available in 2 weeks, 3-month minimum stay, possibly longer depending on progress. It's expensive, but Rachel said she'd help with the cost. Your insurance covers part of it. Michael takes the brochure with shaking hands. The faces in the photos look hopeful, determined, alive. He can't imagine himself among them. What if I fail there too? Then you fail. But at least you tried in an environment where you had every possible advantage. At least Sarah and I will know we did everything we could. She stands again, moves toward the bedroom. I need your answer by Friday. That's 3 days. Talk to Dr. Chen, talk to Dr. Brennan, talk to whoever you need to talk to. But decide. Because on Friday, one way or another, things change. She pauses at the bedroom door. For what it's worth, I hope you choose the facility. I hope you go there and do the work and come home a different person. I hope we get a second chance. But hope isn't enough anymore, so whatever you choose, choose it fully. No half measures, no backup plans. All in or all out. She disappears into the bedroom, leaving Michael alone with the brochure and the scale, and the undeniable truth that he's reached the threshold where choice becomes destiny. 3 days later, Michael sits across from Dr. Brennan via video call, the brochure still in his hands. Have you made your decision? Dr. Brennan asks. Michael looks at the brochure one more time, looks at the apartment that's become his prison, looks at the empty space where his wife and daughter should be. Yes, he says quietly, I'll go to the facility. Good. We'll begin intake procedures next week. You'll be transported by medical vehicle, and Jennifer can visit on weekends after the first month. Will it work? Michael asks. Will I actually change? Dr. Brennan's expression is as uncompromising as ever. That depends entirely on you. The facility provides structure, supervision, therapy, medical support, but ultimately you have to want it. You have to choose it every single day. No one can do that for you. He leans forward slightly. I've been honest with you from the beginning, Michael, so I'll be honest now. Your chances are about 50-50. Half the people who enter that facility succeed, half don't. The difference isn't intelligence or willpower or even severity of addiction. It's choice. The people who succeed are the ones who finally, truly choose life over comfort. Who choose their future over their past? Who choose to suffer in the short term for survival in the long term? Which half am I in? I don't know yet, but in 2 weeks we'll find out. The call ends. Michael sets down the brochure and picks up his phone, dials Sarah's number. She answers on the 3rd ring. Hi, Dad. Hi, baby. I wanted to tell you something. I'm going to Houston, to a weight loss facility. For 3 months, maybe longer. Silence on the line. Then, quietly, Are you really going to try this time? Yes. Promise. Michael closes his eyes. He's made so many promises he's broken, but this time feels different. This time there's no safety net, no second chances, no Jennifer to catch him when he falls. I promise. Another pause. Okay, then I'll come visit when they let you have visitors. I'd like that. Dad? Yeah? I love you. I'm still angry at you, but I love you. I love you too, Sarah, and I'm sorry for everything. After they hang up, Michael lies back in the hospital bed and stares at the ceiling one last time. In 2 weeks, he'll leave this apartment, this bed, this life, and he'll either become someone new, or he'll die trying. There are no other options left. 6 months later, the camera finds Jennifer first, sitting in the same chair beside the hospital bed where she spent 3 years of her life. The bed is still there, but it's empty now, stripped of sheets, a relic of a different time. She looks different, rested. Her hair is cut shorter, professional. She's returned to work full-time at the hospital, resumed the life she put on hold. There are still lines around her eyes, still evidence of the years of stress, but something fundamental has shifted in her posture, her expression. People ask me if it was worth it, she says, looking directly at the camera. All the sacrifice, all the pain, all the years of my life I'll never get back. And I don't know how to answer that. Because the question assumes there was a choice. But when you love someone, you don't calculate worth. You just do what you have to do until you can't anymore. She pauses, her hands folded in her lap, the same gesture she's made throughout this entire journey. Michael went to the Houston facility 6 months ago. The first month I couldn't visit. Facility rules. They needed to break his dependence on me, on the patterns we'd built together. I called every day. Sometimes he answered. Sometimes he didn't. Her voice catches slightly. The second month I visited once. He'd lost 40 pounds. He looked smaller, but also present, like he was inhabiting his body instead of being buried in it. We talked for 2 hours, really talked for the first time in years, about his childhood, about his mother, about the night his father left, and how he felt invisible, worthless, like if he made himself bigger, someone would finally see him. Sarah enters the frame now, sitting on the arm of Jennifer's chair. She's 18, graduated from high school while her father was in Houston. She's grown her hair longer, looks more mature, more at peace. I visited Dad last month, Sarah says. I was nervous, I didn't know what to expect. Part of me thought he'd be the same, just smaller. But he was different, really different. She looks at her mother, then back at the camera. He apologized. Not the quick, desperate apologies he used to make, a real one. He told me he understood why I had to leave, why I couldn't watch anymore. He said he was proud of me for setting boundaries, for protecting myself. He'd never said anything like that before. How much weight has he lost? The interviewer asks off camera. Jennifer pulls out her phone, shows a recent photo. Michael stands beside a wall-mounted scale at the facility. The number reads 412. 205 pounds lost in 6 months. He's not done yet, Jennifer says. Dr. Brennan performed the gastric bypass surgery 3 months ago, once Michael reached 450 pounds. The surgery went well, no complications. But the surgery isn't a magic fix. It's just a tool. Michael still has to choose not to overeat, still has to do the therapy, still has to face the reasons he used food to cope for so many years. Has he moved back home? The interviewer asks. Jennifer and Sarah exchange a glance. There's something in that glance, complicated, unresolved. No, Jennifer says carefully. Michael is in a transitional living facility now, attached to the Houston Center. He'll be there for at least another 3 months, learning to cook, to shop, to manage his own meals without supervision, learning to live in the real world without falling back into old patterns. And when he's ready to come home. The question hangs in the air. Jennifer takes a long breath. I don't know if he's coming home. Not to this apartment anyway, not to the way things were. She stands, walks to the window overlooking the parking lot. I spent 3 years as Michael's caretaker. 3 years where my entire identity became wrapped up in keeping him alive. And when he left for Houston, I had to figure out who I was without that role. I had to rebuild my own life. She turns back to the camera. I love my husband. I never stopped loving him. But I don't know if I can be married to him again. Not in the way we were married before. That relationship was toxic for both of us. I enabled him, he depended on me, and we both pretended it was love when it was really just drowning together. We're seeing a couples therapist, Sarah adds. All 3 of us, actually. Family therapy. Trying to figure out what our relationships look like now. Whether we can build something healthy from what's left. The camera cuts to footage from the Houston facility. Michael walks down a hallway, slowly, carefully, but walking. No wheelchair, no walker. Just his own 2 feet supporting a body that's still large at 412 pounds, but human-sized now. Visible. He's in a group therapy session talking about addiction, about using food as a shield and a weapon, and a slow form of self-destruction. His voice is steady, clear, honest in a way it never was before. I'm not cured, Michael says in the footage, addressing the camera directly. I'll never be cured. I'm an addict and I'll be an addict for the rest of my life. The difference now is that I know it. I accept it. and I'm learning to live with it instead of letting it kill me. He pauses, his hands clasped in front of him. I lost 15 years to this disease, 15 years where I was more ghost than man, more prisoner than person. I destroyed my marriage, traumatized my daughter, and came within inches of dying in a hospital bed surrounded by everything I'd eaten my way through. His eyes fill with tears, but he doesn't look away from the camera. I don't know if Jennifer will take me back. I don't know if Sarah will ever fully forgive me, and I've accepted that those might be the consequences of my choices. But I'm alive. I'm here. And for the first time in 15 years, I want to be. The camera returns to Jennifer and Sarah in the apartment. Do you think he'll make it? The interviewer asks. Long term? Jennifer considers the question carefully. I think he has a chance now. Before Houston, he had no chance. Zero. He was going to die, and we were going to watch, and there was nothing anyone could do to stop it. Now he has a chance. Whether he takes it is up to him. What about you? The interviewer asks Sarah. Do you think your father will make it? Sarah looks at the empty hospital bed, at the space where her father existed for so much of her childhood. I think he's trying, really trying for the first time, and that's all I can ask for. I can't fix him. Mom can't fix him, he has to fix himself. But I'm willing to wait and see if he does. She stands, moves toward the door. I start college in 2 weeks. MIT, engineering program. I'm moving to Boston, starting my own life finally. Does your father know? Yeah, I told him during my last visit. He cried, said he was proud of me, said he wished he could be there to help me move in. Will he be? Sarah's smile is sad but genuine. Probably not. But maybe that's okay. Maybe I need to do this part on my own. Maybe we all do. The camera lingers on the empty hospital bed one final time, then cuts to black. A title card appears. Michael remains at the transitional facility in Houston. As of filming, he weighs 398 pounds, a total loss of 219 pounds. He continues therapy and medical supervision. His goal weight is 250 pounds. Jennifer and Sarah continue family therapy and maintain regular contact with Michael. The future of their relationship remains undecided. Dr. Brennan reports that Michael's heart function has improved significantly. With continued weight loss and lifestyle changes, his prognosis is cautiously optimistic. 1 year after entering the facility, Michael will face the real test, returning to the world that nearly killed him, armed only with the tools he's learned and the person he's become. Recovery is not a destination. It's a choice made every single day, sometimes for the rest of your life. The screen fades to black. In the silence that follows, there are no easy answers, no perfect resolutions. Just the messy, complicated reality of addiction, love, family, and the thin line between survival and surrender. Michael chose survival. Whether he can sustain that choice, whether any of them can rebuild what was broken, remains to be seen. But for today, for this moment, he's alive, and sometimes that has to be enough. If this story moved you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more real-life journeys of struggle, choices, and transformation, so you don't miss the next episodes and follow each step of these powerful life stories. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.